Particle physics is the study of the fundamental particles of the universe and the forces between them. But each element on the periodic table are not just made up of protons, neutrons, and electrons. These particles in the elements are made up of even smaller things. Currently, there are 12 known fundamental particles, 6 quarks, which must bind together, and 6 leptons that exist independently. These elementary particles do not appear to be made up of smaller units of matter. Quarks and leptons are specified as fermions that follow the Pauli exclusion principle, which means that they cannot occupy the same place at the same time. People cannot walk through doors unless the door is open. The Pauli exclusion principle also states that fermions have a spin quantum number, which is always a fraction, like 1/2, 1/1/2, and so on. The word quark originally appeared in a line of the novel Finnegan's Wake, written by James Joyce. The drunk seagull asks for 3 quarks for Mr. Mark instead of 3 quarts. Since the pre-standard model only had 3 quarks, the name fit. The full standard model now needs 6 quarks. Their flavors are up, down, strange, charm, top, and bottom. Protons and neutrons are made up of 3 quarks each. Protons have 2 up with a charge of +2/3 and 1 down, which added together makes a charge of 1. Quarks stick together because they possess a characteristic called a color, which is a charge corresponding to the strong force. There are 3 colors, red, blue, and green, like the 3 primary colors of light. Quarks only occur in the colorless combination of 3 quarks called a biron and a pair of quark and antiquark called a meson. Now that we know what's on the inside, altogether, what is the particle called? If a particle is composed of quarks, it's called a hadron. A hadron is any particle that is made from quarks, antiquarks, and are surrounded by a cloud of gluons. For example, a proton. Mesons and byrons are classified as hadrons, but specifically excludes leptons. Leptons are excluded because hadrons interact with a strong force, while leptons do not. The other particles of life are made up of the fundamental particles called leptons, which interact with the electromagnetic, gravitational, and weak forces. An electron is an example of a lepton, as well as the muon and tau, which are less well known, but also much more rare cousins of the electron. The muon and tau have the same negative charge as an electron, but much heavier. Leptons are a lot lighter than quarks. In fact, there is debate whether or not they have any mass at all. Each lepton is associated with a neutral partner, neutrinos, which have no charge and little mass. Unlike sociable quarks, which are always in a group, leptons are solitary particles, just like independent cats, and the neutrinos are the fleas on the cats. Just remember, under your skin there are tiny particles, and in those tiny particles there are protons, neutrons, and electrons, and in those tiny parts there are the fundamental particles in which everything around you is composed of. Thanks for watching.